And alright. So we are over on the east side now. Now we're going to have to pull out and use this signal's on. Take that out. We'll have to go ahead and use the north main. Just want to take a quick look at how we're set up here. So, just taking a look at the not the yard sheet, but the actual area for running around. What I normally do in this situation is I switch everything I can at 717, 718 first, because it's facing that way. Everything else goes the opposite way. So 717, 718 is the last. It'll be 717 on the tags, or if any overfill, then it'll go down to 718. But I usually go ahead and do that first. But I leave as much as the train as I can on here. Switch it, bring it back out. Then I do my runaround and head down this way. Then back in 730s further down. Then I back into 712. Deal with the Simplot 726, and I don't think there's anything. Gamera 714. I don't think we usually have anything, or 724, I should say. If you have anything for 724, but I don't think we have anything for it set up at the moment. So I'm just taking a look at the train, see what we got left. So there's your 730s. They would stay on the track here. 726 Simplot, they go down with you, so that's fine. There's your 717s right there. So in this case, I'm just taking a look here. We've got 2, 3, 4, only 4 cars of 717, but we're picking up. Oh, that's BNSF. Sorry, we're picking up quite a few. So actually, that's probably a good spot to leave it. So what we want to do is get ourselves in there to switch 717. So I'll apply some handbrakes here. I'm going to go down to the other end for now. Here you want to be careful. You got the grade crossing, so you want to be sure you're okay on that end. So I'll stand by the switch for now. Actually, I'll put one guy here, or I can come back. So I'm going to be in the engine for the rest of the way, so I'll just come back over to here. I'm going to put the volume back down. I had it up while I was watching YouTube while I was having some supper there. Okay. So entering main 2. I should have said that before I did the switch, but that's okay. uncoupled. I should have checked that. Yeah, we're good. Alright. So, judging by that, we're gonna have to go across the crossing. Counter confirms that. Put my brakes back on. Of course, we're on the dispatch board here. So now I can go back to here. So we're probably going to be working this switch for a little bit. We've got to go in and then we're coming back out. Now, considering the dispatch, you can always ask the dispatcher if it was dark, let's say, what kind of traffic do you have and how long you can hold the main for. In this case, we don't have too much work to do at this end. Plus, we want to do holding main 2 Edison. Dim the lights for now. So the whole thing about holding is you're keeping the switch reversed, so you technically you own the main. Which is what you want to do in this case. You don't want to relinquish it. It's kind of different when you're coming southbound because the train can spawn really quickly, whereas northbound we got a good idea as far as what trains are out there, and there's nothing crew change wise that's going to come, so we can hold that main. That's not a problem. And if you wanted to hold the main, you could always under more realistic operations, you can always talk with the dispatcher and if with the AI or whatever, and they could tell you what's happening. I gotta go down further. I keep forgetting that's the BNSF. That's a BNSF industry. Got one more abandoned siding here. So this live stream will probably last, I would imagine, about another hour or so. Hour and a half at the most, I would imagine. There's not too much in regards to that. We're basically, once we're going around, Simplot's going to require 2 moves, at least 2 moves, if not more, because we got 2 cuts of cars. And then from there, 7:30, and that should be it. Alright. Now again, you got to be careful with the curves, as I was mentioning in the first half of this. Really, in this situation here, like, this is where you want to be on the building, and I'll show you. It's okay to go that far. You want one in the cross, but in this case, you might as well just put 2 more across, because they can cross platform as long as they're on the same side. I'll show you what I mean. I don't know if I'll actually be able to show it to you on this one or not, so I'm gonna have to pull this all the way out. Sometimes you're lucky and you get a second track free. Other times, like in this situation, you got more than one going on. But you basically want to line them up. So we were able to connect, fortunately, but see that big jump in the curb there? You got to be careful, because what'll end up happening is it'll get snagged. Or not snagged, it'll get to the point where it doesn't connect. So obviously there's no room to use the one track here, although we could use the main, or not the main. You could actually use I can't remember the name of the track number now. Whatever. You know what I mean? You can use the track right beside us here without having to come back onto the main, so that works too. So what's on the agenda for tonight? This was just happened to be one train to try to help Mike. Oh boy, it's gonna be a quick airtight one again. Yep. That's good. It was heavy coming in. Alright. So yeah, I'll try to use the line here. Just gotta take a look at how we're lining up here. Well, so far we haven't had to use the main again, but eventually you want it to connect to the stuff down here. I'm just taking a quick look. Yeah, it's a little too far away. Sometimes you could, in theory, shove it all down this way, which is possible, and then just run light power. But you do have to run light power to run around up here. So, shoot, I'm not paying attention. So this is where, okay, you know, Well, in this case here, hang on a second. Probably easier to make the switch right here and then just bring it all down. So I'll do that first. Now, because you're going uphill, you can go ahead and give this a good shove. Hopefully get it past the switch. I haven't tried doing it that way. Or I'm sorry, no, you can't. You can and you can't, but I'll give it a shove anyways and see how it goes. Going downhill, not uphill now. All the old passes, what am I doing? Really, at this point, it doesn't matter. You're too far. I guess you can. Why not? The thing with this here too, while you're doing that, you've got to set a handbrake in a second. So you got one guy riding. Hopefully it's not going too fast. Like it is right now. I gotta make sure it's slowing down. Slow it down enough. Okay. That probably cost us more time. But anyways. When you play with Barstow, you as many times as I run Barstow, you get used to it. But when you're doing something like this where you run it, you know, you've run it maybe, if you're lucky, you've run this job maybe 10 times in the entire history of Run 8. If that, I'd be lucky if I had half a dozen. Okay, so I get that switch. I got this switch lined up now. Yeah, this ain't gonna take too much longer. I mean, the other thing you could have done, if you were, as long as you're paying attention to the car, you got problem with running cars down the line, even though it's industrial, is we got grade crossings up here. And I think I've mentioned this before, but I like the idea that you can kick cars. I just wish the handbrakes were variable somehow, so that you could actually torque the wheel to a certain amount and get more control. You know what I mean? So when you're on a grade that's pretty much relatively the same, then you grab the brake to a certain extent, and you might be able to slow it down. You might be able to slow it down to a certain extent, but you don't slow it down so much that it stops like it just did right there. That was a full application of brake on one car, but it took a while. If you're kicking at a decent speed of 4 miles an hour or whatever it is, then having the brake that wheel set like this fun enough, I guess. To me, it'd be more beneficial, I guess. But hey, I'm happy just having it, so I'm not going to complain too much about it. I just like to see it. It'd be kind of cool. Alright. I think I'm okay there. Let me double check. I think I got more than enough. Probably went back too far. Oh yeah, I went way back too far. I didn't even need that much. That's okay. So, like I was saying before, you know, just getting it to the building is good enough. Saves yourself some extra work. There I was just kind of, I wanted to keep an eye on things, so. So the cool thing is, when the next guy comes in, I thought there we go. I was going to say, I thought I let go of the dynamics there. So when the next guy runs Edison, the problem is this track's a little bit shorter, so you might be able to fit 4 cars in there. You take 4 cars, pull it out, shove it down here, and then you can, you know, not kick it down like I just did, but then you don't have to worry about going so far out at least, but it's not really that much further. It's just one switch. Alright. So now I gotta go grab the cars that I didn't cook him that far either, so it worked out pretty good. I fear more of not kicking it far enough, because then when you do that, then you have to couple up onto the thing, and I'd rather kick it a little bit further or hit him a little bit harder. I know that's probably not the best thing, typically, but just to get him. But then again, it all comes with experience, right? Like I was saying before, to finish up that thought, if I'm experienced enough with this grade, I know just how much to give it. Like, for example, I know local yard in Barstow, I know how much to give it on the west end of local yard as opposed to the east end, let's say. Pretty good with that. So that's all the set-offs this way. Make sure I got my speed down a little bit here, especially to connect. More. Wow. Heavy grade. Okay, here we go. Already let the train brakes. And I got the counter going. I'll shut that off because I'm going to need it in a minute. So in these situations when you're dealing with grade crossings or whatever, or entering main lines, now we've already got the switch lined up for us, but for grade crossings I tend to use Control F12 the old way. After the counter is given up, as opposed to putting a conductor on the ground. I prefer to put the conductor on the ground using the shift 1, shift 2, shift 3 and do that, but in that case you got to really pay attention to where you are on the track, the grade crossing, communicating that you're entering the main line, etc. Nothing going on in Bakersfield right now. Wow. Oh, never mind. I thought that was my activity. Okay, so Dave's done from earlier. Got a couple others on right now, running trains elsewhere. Mike's going to be back later on this evening. So I may not wait till the counter goes zero. That's kind of a how far you got for sure type thing. In this case, I'm not sure. Let me just do a test here. Yeah, 1,000 feet. I might be able to get away with not having to use the main again. Or sorry, I shouldn't say that. What am I talking about? Never mind. Not having to worry about the grade crossing, that's what I meant to say. I'm going to put the brights on just in case. Since I'm entering the main anyways, but just in case. We'll see how it goes. Okay, we're straightened out now. Start my counter. Train main to Edison. Of course, we already established that we were holding the switch. So this is why I put the counter on and stay in it, because we got the grade crossing and now I got to judge, and I'm definitely going to use it. So once I'm past the crossing, then I can go back to control F12, even if I'm not all the way. That's fine. So I can just walk my way up. And we'll see whereabouts we lie. Give it back up to notch 2 at least to get past the switch. Of course, I'm on the board now. So this is given 5 hours. It's usually not a problem getting it done in 5 hours in most cases. There's time for blocking. There is time for breaking down. And unfortunately, because of what was happening last cycle, we don't know whereabouts we were with this. There was a lot of work that was done, so I'm not going to worry about breaking down this train. What the plan is for when we get back to Bakersfield is I'm going to enter the available track 1 and stop right at Kern there. Minimize the light. Get some of these going again before I smash into this. And I'm going way too fast because I'm supposed to be 10 miles an hour off that switch, not 12. Forgot I was in the pocket, not the main. Of course, when you're down here, it's a different story than when you're up on the main, like when you're in the engine. So you're paying more attention. You're not worried. You're listening to what your conductor's saying, but you're taking a look at the speedometer the whole time. Here, you're looking at the speedometer and you're looking how far away you are from the cars here, and playing around with the dynamics. It's a totally different situation. Not too bad of a hit. Go back into the engine for a second. Perfect. Turn the counter off for now. Might be a good spot. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're good. So no matter where we disconnect here, as long as we are out of the way. Yeah, this one I can keep the engines minimized. I'm still on the board, which is good. And when I say I'm still on the board, what I mean by that is I'm still visible to anybody else, which really doesn't matter because there's no northbounds, but it's good for the dispatcher and anybody else just to make sure you know what's going on. Being on the curve there doesn't matter. So now we get to the side where we change ends to restore the switch to normal. Then go ahead and auto start. Get that one to the short side. Put my mirrors on. Should be all on anyway, so check. Yeah, we're good. Main's good. Just double checking the crossover. So I'm also taking a quick look at these cars just to make sure the tags. Making sure I haven't missed anything. Usually you do it that with a flyby, but everything's looking good. And then we're seeing our 726s. Of course, we have our sim plot back, so we're all good here. And our 730 El Paso at the end. That was our 710. So normally the UP job runs from 12 o'clock cycle to I think it's 2030. I think. I forget if it's an 8 hour or 8.5 hour. If you go a little bit over, it's not a big deal. You just don't want to be like, you got to think in the minds of the crew. Is it important that they make everything perfectly clean, or do they have to do, you know, something else? In this case, this is the middle of the night, so we already missed this, and technically this shouldn't be happening. The crew is already on duty. Whoops, I should let me do the counter instead, because I got a grade crossing. What am I doing? I got light power, you dipply. For some reason I was thinking I was actually on a train for a minute. I'm silly. Get it. So again, you don't have to get authority to reverse the switch because you're occupying the main section there. And the switch protects again by signal, even though you'll disappear. Turn the light off. We'll make our way to the north end. For some reason they wanted you to clear the main at some point, or they advised that there's another train, you could always come up this way or back yourself up to the point of getting out of the way onto the track to the left of us there. So that track is certainly usable. I just find that if you're going to do a runaround route, this is the place to do it. It's really the only place you've got, unless you do the entire main, which you can, but then you have to come all the way back through Edison. Whereas here, you're just going around the pocket. Not nearly as much to back up. So if I was backing up, say with that switch where I just came on, if I was backing up all the way from the north end, you got a long ways to go. Now, of course, as I said before, you have the option, if you have proper protection of the crossing, you do have the option of kicking the car and riding it. You have to be a pretty good judge of speed. You have to assume that it's being protected. The other thing too is I don't think it shows up in the actual gates will not go down because the simulator doesn't detect it as an enemy train. I forget what they call them. I guess they just call them AI. They call them AI spots actually, which is kind of funny. So it's the first form of AI that they used was the kicking and the humping. So it doesn't detect it. Which will be kind of interesting to see what happens once version 2 comes along, because AI should be detecting grade crossings and all the other stuff, so I imagine that'll all change. I would think. Who knows what else they have in store for us, but I'm not worried about, them blowing horns or dimming lights or saying nice roll by and all that crap. I just want to get the trains moving. You see a train go by. I mean, I'm used to MSTS and seeing train full highlights or full headlights coming by at you. What I don't want is an AI train coming at me when it's not authorized to come at me, and all of a sudden you're coming up to a red signal. The red signal of doom and MSTS and the activities, and I'm like, oh, I guess this activity isn't going to work because there's an AI train coming at me and it's smashing right into you, and your game's over. Not fun. So yeah, see, and you can see the signals red up there, so that's, like I said, that's protecting everything. Protecting the main line. Even though we're not on the board at the moment. Which is kind of odd, you know. Because I thought that, I mean, it's great that it's protected by the automatic block signal, but I thought for some reason that it was still supposed to show an occupancy on the board when those switches were out of alignment. It'd be kind of cool to see, because I think theoretically they're supposed to be. Not a big deal, but I mean, that's where as a dispatcher you gotta know. I mean, dark territories, you gotta keep proper logs and everything. OS reports. You gotta know where your trains are, so. So I'll put my brights back on. Like I said, you know, if push comes to shove and there's too much traffic going on right now, you can always manage to do the runaround and at least get yourself down there and leave the cars down there, shove them, do whatever you have to do, or even do a runaround and get off the main and then come back and get them. Instead of just sitting there waiting for another train to go by. So there's always options. Now I will prototypically stop this train. I could shove back, but I really don't have to because he can run with me to the tail. But in this case, what I'll do is I'll put myself down here. Put myself back in. Plop the counter going on. Make sure I stay below 10 miles an hour too. My headlights are already on. It's getting a little darker now, so put those. Did I put those on? I thought I did. There we go. Oh, that's a cap. Okay, there we go. That's better. Much better. Still 2:58, but this time of the afternoon it gets a little dark in the cab. Hoping to get back around 7:30 or so. Might give myself another break for an hour or so. I think Mike's in the pool or something. Last I heard. I live in St. Catharines, that's next door to Niagara Falls. I was down in Niagara Falls yesterday with my son. Yeah, you know, those arcades. We've had a pretty good heat spell. I know a lot of good section of North America has been under, I think, has been under a pretty good amount of heat this summer. Warmer than usual, but we haven't had much rain. The humidity has been up here in the Great Lakes. And we're used to humidity. It's just we're not so used to the humidity and the heat at the same time for prolonged periods. And boy, we had to get out of there. We went down to Niagara Falls. I lived there for years, but just a city next door for me. And I work there too. I work out of Niagara Falls. Across the border every day. Not Niagara Falls, New York, Niagara Falls, Ontario, and then I cross over to Niagara Falls, New York. Okay. See, this is where I gotta watch the... There, the counting's okay, so I'm gonna stop there. I'll go back. Where am I? Oh, here I am. Okay. I was looking the wrong way. Stop the car. Stop the train. Gotta get on. Gotta pretend to get on. So once I'm quote-unquote aboard, even though it won't save this, I wish it would. I know I sound like I'm griping, but yeah, I can wish for things. So from there I can basically call out Edison, main 2 pocket, restore to normal. Because we already called out the other end, so we're good. Everything should be fine. Get back in the cab. So we do have a pickup there. This is the Simplot siding right there. I'm not too certain as far as what's location-wise spotting for this particular siding. Because the buildings aren't exactly what I recall seeing. So, in this case, while that's doing that, I'm gonna put those out. I'm gonna take a look at my train there, see what we got. There's our Simplot cars right there, the 726s. And then we got a tank car. I can see why. What we used to do, probably a tank car in there is actually a good idea, and then have the hoppers here. I thought that we could put the hoppers in there, but I guess that actually makes more sense to put the tank in there. Makes more sense to me because the hoppers being here are useless. They should be moved, I would say, at least down to the building. I think the map is deceiving in that sense, but I'm not sure. Wow, I'm way too fast here. It's okay, I mean, I had a clear signal and all. Oh, that's not good. More grade than I forgot about. Well, we're going to be heading towards Bakersfield now before we get this thing stopped. I have no air in the train. So I let it go way too much. So do I have a control 1 still? Good. Oh, this should be a good trip. I could, what I'm doing is I'm just giving it a little bit of Indy, feathering it, but I should not be down here this far. Once I get to 10, I can hit the Indies at least. You're not supposed to have Indies on above 10 miles an hour, even though it'll let you. Man, that's a lot of weight.
UP detector, milepost 318.8, track 2.
I better keep the headlights on. Looks like I'm going to have to call for a crossing here. That banging is by the microphone is my Indy brake. Gee, maybe I should go switch 730 since I'm down here. I think I will. I don't know. No. I should switch 730 since I made it all the way. Dang it. That's the problem with no air. And I was going too fast. I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy yapping as usual. So, I knew it wouldn't run away. Put it that way. But it would have been interesting. Again, I don't know what the the requirements, if they need air on a certain grade or per tonnage, or what the rule is on that. I'm kind of curious. Because if it needs air, well, that's fine. We can switch with air. It's not a big deal. I've switched with air before. I just prefer not to. Of course, a mainline train that's doing a set-off, that's a totally different story.
Sector, milepost 318.8. Track 2, no defects, no defects. Total axle, 6, 4. Train speed, 9 mph. Ambient temperature, 8 degrees. UP sector out.
So another look at the dispatch display. There's nothing coming north, so we're good. Okay. So what I normally do here, in a little while, I'm just going to take a look. Well, we do have some cars here too, so that's a good place to put them, actually. At least some of them. It ain't going to last for very long. So there is a pickup here. We don't have anything. I don't think we have anything for, as I was saying before, no, we don't have any 724s with us. So we'll do our pickup of 724. Add some more tonnage to the train. We've got that sim plot to get out of the way. And then the rest is going back. There's your 726 block. Alright. It's too bad I didn't have more room in that one track, but that's another thing you can do if you're blocking ahead of time. You can set it up that way, but that's okay. I'm gonna go grab them. What's probably the better alternative, actually, now that I think about it, is to get the cars out of there. I don't think I'll take a quick look when I couple, but I don't think there's any way I'm going to be able to fit them all. What I want to do is fit the cars in between the next the tanks and the Simplot set off, but I don't think I have the room. Then that would be perfect. Then I could just set up. But I got to pick up anyways all those other cars, so really I might as well just get these cars out of here. Then I'll shove them down. Now, because you're the crew, you have some options. And what I mean by that, you can do some pre-sorting here. Wow. That's a lot of weight. And what I mean by the pre-sorting is because you're going to wind up sorting in Bakersfield anyways. What you can do is do a little bit of sorting here. I'm not going to do it today, but you can keep it in mind when you make your cuts here. Whatever you can make it easy for you later on will always help. So if you have a decision between two possible moves, you can always do it that way. You know what I mean? I'm going too fast again. As long as I stay below 10, I can also use the Indy, which I'm going to use here in a second. Once I pass, well, I'll start here, since I'm going to go a little ways by the looks of it. Yeah, I was supposed to take a look anyways, but it don't matter. Yeah, we got a long ways to go before that one tag there, so... So I'm just trying to think if I want to deal with the weight, or do I want to get this train actually thinking about holding the cars on the main now, since I'm here. Just gotta think about this really quick. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and hold the main. Because it's not going to take me too much longer. grab this pin as I'm going by. Without falling into the creek. Yeah. So as I was saying, you can do some sorting here. I'm not going to tonight just because I ain't worried about it. It's not me. Or it probably won't be me. But it's a possibility. Yeah, it's added there, you know, if you have the time, that is, of course. It's always if you have the time. And I'm not meaning if you have the time, it's also about, it's more important when if the crew has the time. Hopefully that doesn't get into a bad spot on the curve. I think it'll stop right there, which is good. Yeah, that's a heavy train. I'm not using dynamics at the moment. That's why I wanted to get all these cars sitting on the main for now and secured. That way, once I've got them down there, it'll make it a lot easier to switch with just the Simplot cars. I'll see about the head end. I don't think there's that much to worry about, so I might keep the cars on the head end, but also got to watch out for how much capacity I have coming up the crossings and stuff like that over here. Take a look and fly ahead and make sure I'm okay. Yeah, I'm fine. I don't know. I got 12 more cars to the crossing? I'm not sure. Gonna be a little tight. I think I'm okay. The reefers take up a lot less room, so yeah, we'll take a look from here. A lot easier than going back and forth. make sure you got all the handbrakes you need. Dang it. Give me the one I want. Thank you. And we can go on in. Yeah, I'm not worried about the head end. Whatever's on the head end, which is just a couple of the 730s and I think 710 from what we picked up. Not worried about that. That kind of weight's fine as long as I get rid of most of the weight. That's all I was concerned about. It also gives a little bit more room in there. Okay, I'm going to head down this way. I'm not going to ride it. I'm close enough here. See, the switch is already reversed, which it should be. Let it coast a bit. Get it down below 4. Let it coast too much. Immediately I let go of the parking brake thingy. Just go right ahead for it. Actually, I'm not going to ride that. I need the switch up here first. Then I'll ride it. Once I get these switches set up the way I want them. So now we're taking the cars out of Simplot. We'll transfer them here. Oh, we're okay there. Oh, no, that's the other one. I think. What's at that one? Oh, I think that's BNSF's, yeah, 727, okay. I still got 725. I don't think I have a way bill for that. I think somehow it vanished somewhere, so one of these days I'll have to get Mike to, or let him know about that, because I'm not too sure if he's aware of it either. It's a missing way bill or something, or a tag. I'm not even sure what it was supposed to be, or originally it was supposed to be. If I can find it, I'll pass along that information. So 7:22, it looks like we're not going to be done till 8 o'clock. Give myself some time to take a break tonight, and then I'll deal with getting the tags set up tonight for the RTS side. Leland. Not too sure who's at Martinez and Lugo. A bunch of signals still left behind. Try to get people to restore their signals back, but you know. Yeah, I shouldn't bother with that. Gotta focus on this. Thought we were going to be doing some Barstow tonight, but I don't think we're in a position to do it just yet. see. I'll check with Mike later on. So I'm not too sure how far he's at either. Okay, so we've latched on to our empty potash cars going back to Lone Pine. I'll protect whatever this is here. Private crossing? I don't know. It's not a private crossing. It's good, we got gates. I guess we don't need to protect it. I don't know. So yeah, usually what I would like to do in here is have the hoppers deal with this building over here. Tank's actually a good idea. I used to have it the other way around, but that's okay. I think that works pretty good, having the tank inside, since it's only one car and you can't really do too much else. Oops, I'm going too fast down here. Again. So we're almost done. Ooh, lost Leland. I don't know how the network's doing. I'm okay at 62. Haven't been booted at all since Mike took over the server, so it's been good. We're not exactly close location-wise to each other, I don't think, either, so. Yeah, I always thought of this being a better for the hoppers. Unfortunately, it's how do you unload a bunch of hoppers in one little building? Doesn't make sense. Come on, no, don't stall on me. As I was saying, now what happens is we got to get the empties out of the way. The probable use here is to put it in the track beside us, as opposed to going all the way down to the main for now. Again, this stuff on the head end, that's not a big deal. This is the stuff dealing with here. Getting thirsty again. A little hungry too. I think I'll let that go for a minute. I'll be right back. I think we're fine. Oh, frozen strawberries. That'll cool me down in here. It is hot. Had three microwavable little pizzas for supper. I didn't really have them. I had 3 or 4. I think it was only 3. I'm still hungry. I really didn't eat enough. But, you know. If I want, there's 2 more later, or I can do peanut butter and toast. That's seems to be a standby, but this for usually fills me up. Excuse me. Oh, too soon. Forgot I have to go out this way. Yeah, it'd be pretty easy just to, at the rate I'm going, I might as well put it to there. That's almost as easy just to put it on the main, but then I gotta block crossings and shove it down, so forget it. This is why I got rid of all that weight, was to not have to worry about dealing with so much and switching the siding here. Okay, now it's about the ride coming back. He's going uphill, so he'll coast to a stop. Now it's just a question of spotting these cars. This one's fairly easy. these are spotted, I take those cars, put them with the others, and head on over to 730. We'll swap there, and then head back into Bakersfield, yard track 1. So yeah, in most cases I'd say, yeah, you don't have to worry about throwing the cars so far back, but in this case there's your buildings. So yeah, that's definitely Simplot. You don't want to have them way down here. I never noticed that. They had a little picnic table. Yeah. That's kind of cool. Oh boy, it's going to be tight here. Just disappearing into the wall. Yeah. Alright. That'll teach me. Ooh, wow. Grade picked up a little bit there too. This is inside the building. Yeah. Kind of neat. Kind of neat how 3D graphics work that way. When you're actually inside the building and it disappears. It only displays shades from the outside and everything else is transparent. What happens when I come back out? Oh, I better not. Yeah. So, does it come back in? Well, I guess I'm still part of it? I don't know. I didn't think I was still part of it there. I guess I am. Alright. Give you a little bit more. Oh, now I'm inside that building. It doesn't show the shade. Whoa. Slow down. I guess really, at this point, that's fine. So for over here, as we get outside of, back into the actual side of the building. Wow, did it actually disappear when I went through there? It actually did. Whoa, hang on. I lost the graphic when I went in. It's a building. There's actually another building here. That's the only thing that there was all along. It's possible. I don't know. So yeah, just outside the shed and alongside the main building here for potash. So we're into 3 cuts. There's our 730 block. Right behind one of our other lifts. Supposed to honk the horn or not. I just got the bells going. Don't know. Too fast. Yeah. So now it's just a matter of picking these things up and heading over to 730. I'll have to watch my speed going back to Bakersfield. We'll see. We'll figure it out. Going too fast already. I can put air in. That might take a while. Yeah, we'll see. Look a lot like 815 now. Which kind of puts it at the $5 mark. Funny if I do, but we'll see. I'm using the counter every time here. Just stay in the cabin. Control F12 there works perfectly fine. tempted to put air on this thing. Well, we'll find out. Okay, so back on the main, I'm fully set up here. Got our EOT back on. Of course, this was the crossover. Everything else is fine. All switches are restored to normal. Counter can go off. Brakes on. Too far to go down to switch this next industry. And that's the last one. 730. Dynamic set going. Wow. Wouldn't want to be too fast with this thing, that's for sure. Well, we were able to get control of it. It's acting about the same reduction, so I think okay. If not, we'll just go flying into Bakersfield. Because I want to stop this thing up here. Going to be a few minutes while I switch this. So we got 2 empties for El Paso. a 2 for 2 here, by the looks of it. Which room do I got before the end of the crossing? Just curious. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be blocking them. Sorry guys. Probably could have moved ahead a tiny bit more, but you don't want to disappoint the guys at the crossing too much. Oops. That didn't look too good. Just to be on the safe side, I'm gonna... Yeah. I'm sure it was fine, but... That little red flag down there, that's actually the end of the track, but in this case you're kind of in, I don't know what the best place to set off these cars are. Probably in the dirt area, I guess, I don't know. It's a building, but I don't know if it actually receives out of that building or not, I doubt it. Yeah, see, it's all, you don't even see the track there, but it's there. It's kind of weird. Oh, it totally disappears there. It's dirty. So it's there. I mean, you can probably set it off here somewhere. Who knows? At least it'll be a little lighter coming back. Our 2 cars, or 2 empties versus 2 loads. Hey, where did all those cars go at the crossing? Guess they got tired of waiting. That's not true, but it's kind of funny anyways. Hey, I stopped him! Because had I not been close enough, you would have seen magic. At least to my worries, that's for sure. Okay, so... let's go last. Oh, come on. EOT telemetry again. Get our loads and get the hell out of here. this here. Really cool if you can close the gate. That would be cool. If I can. I'm gonna try to get the door animation. It would just be kind of really cool if you could, huh? Like I said, more important things. Just getting AI trains is gonna be so. Can't believe probably a matter of months away now. Hopefully, if all goes well. Alright. Nope, saw magic. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. About 8 o'clock right now. I'm gonna get about 8:15 arrival. So that was with an extended lunch break, actually. It took me about 40 minutes, but. Back in the cab we go. So this is going to be a test. I'm going to get it up to 55. And then hopefully...
UP detector milepost 318.8 track 2.
Oh yeah, I was still sitting on the detector. Hopefully... once I've got it.
UP detector milepost 318.8 track 2. No defects. No defects. Total axles 4. Train speed 1, 2 mph. Ambient temperature 85 degrees. UP detector out.
So yeah, once I've got it controlled at 55, what I'm hoping is I'll get a flashing yellow. That flashing yellow is a warning for me at around Magadan, I think, that I'm coming up on that last block, because I have to get in at the south end there, Quantico. But I think we'll be fine. By the time Magadan comes around, this starts leveling out quite a bit, I believe. I'm mean, I'm going notch 4 and I'm still gaining speed, but it's really not that bad. As we're coming up to Magadan now, but we'll see in a minute. Shouldn't have stopped there. There's the speed restriction too at 25, so I better start toning it down. You're toast. So I gotta get down to 25 anyways, so let's see how we do. Yeah, that should be fun. Getting about the same amount of reduction. But you're still getting it, so. You get a really good reduction. So that worked out all right. In fact, I think we start going uphill here. Yep. So of course we don't need any signals here because we're going right into the yard at Quantico. Right where the 25 limit starts. It's not too far away. But at the bridge, we're going into the yard, so. So it looks like I'm definitely probably going to get this train tied down and the power back into the shop track by about 8:15. So I'll end I'm going to end this live stream coming up once I've done that, and then I will start another one once I've talked with Mike as far as what the plan is tonight. I will start another one if there's a 25 limit and we're coming up to the drill track, so. But I'll start another live stream if I'm going to be setting up those sheets. I may do that tomorrow though, but I'll see what he wants to do, because I might be able to do that tomorrow on my own instead. But I'll see what he wants to do tonight. So I might be on later on. I'll post a message on the forum once we've come up Somebody's sending me a text message. Better go check that. Yeah. So because it's UP, you want to get your cars all the way into the north end. South end is usually switched by SJVRs, so that's the reasoning behind that. So I'll get the counter going, 1,800 feet or so. Once again, somebody from the office there can help us. Set the slow speed control on. Yeah, in some situations, at least I've seen it more of a practice where it's difficult to run a conductor from one end to the other, or to restore a switch or something like that. Often somebody will drive, if they don't have the ability to drive down to the other end, they'll have somebody often available who can restore a switch to normal on a yard, because otherwise in this case you're letting the guy off the engine. You got the conductor, he rides him down all the way, and then I suppose you can do it that way too, but I assume somebody's down and to assist. When you're off in a yard area or an industry, of course you're not going to have that help, but for yards, yeah, you usually have some help around. Okay, so the counter's almost down to the end. That's the crossover switch. And at this point, only this, usually this switch I'll restore to normal, just so you got the drill. But other than that, I mean, it's not important. Usually if I have this one, I'll do that one too, so. And from here, it's pretty easy. You can let go of the speed control now that I'm past the switches. Back to your 20 limit in the yard. I guess it's 20 here. I know in Canada it's 15 for restricting, or 15 for yards, basically. So yeah, track 1 at one time we use this as the interchange track. It was the easiest to get out to the BNSF side. With SJVR doing the interchange now, it's really not that that often required. Although in theory, I suppose SJVR could use it. Borrow it to get into the yard. You have to come down the main line anyways, so that's another thing we'll try to do sometime. That was the switchback there. I don't stop there, I go all the way. One thing I do see as far as power goes, we do have 4 units now. We got a lot of UP power here, so I'm not too sure what's going on with that, but we'll figure that out. basically all I'm doing at this point. So it looks like we're going to get to probably 8:20 by the time this is finished. I'll show you the last entries you would make here as a yard job. So we started, I think we started at 3:20 actually, now that I think about it. It was around that time. Just while that's rolling down on its own for a bit. So we used to have this pocket right there we used for SJVR power. I don't know why the road units got over here, but they did. There's room over here. There's too many road units right now, unfortunately. The extra SJVR unit, in theory, could come down here as some kind of storage or something, just out of the way, because it's going to be as a backup. But the UP power, I'm not too sure. We got way too much by the looks of it here. 5 units there, and then I don't think we need that much going back. 6, 7, 8. It's all going back though. I think what's happening is people are what I'm assuming is happening, and I'm not sure, but my guess is people are taking extra power off of the set off. When some of the mainline trains that set off here, they don't think they need the power, so they drop it. It's better to just keep it with it. Don't bring it in here. I know people have done that in the past. It just clogs up this yard because we really don't need that much power here. We basically have one train going out, so the most you're looking at is 9 engines. There was some talk about having man. There's a location down by Sandcut where you can put power. It's an old block down there. So the engines, they can tie down right here on the opposite track. I was gonna say right there's probably. Hang on a second here. Just trying to think if there's anything else that's coming. I'll just because the RV cuts here, I'll go ahead and move it over to back to the board there. So we're coming on 825 now. Unlike Barstow, where we keep the power running all the time, and the reason why we do it is because it's 24/7 operations, constantly going. These can be shut down, lights off and shut down once you get there, because they're only running 8 hours a day, just like Mojave. Mojave, same with BNSF Bakersfield. Any of the road units like the West Colton stuff coming in, unless it's going over anywhere. As long as it doesn't need service, it can just There we go. And that is it for UP Edison. Been a fun 5 hours. Hope this was informative. As always, thanks for joining the live stream if you're on. If you get this video on YouTube later on, you can basically always appreciate liking, sharing, comments, questions. You can contact us at our Wikia site for RTS, as well as for the Railroad Transportation Simulator Wikia. We're on Train Sim as well. Facebook, you name it, we're there. So if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. I will probably be doing another live stream later this evening. Could be within the next 15 to 20 minutes. I'm not too sure yet. I gotta wait and see what's going on with Mike. But for now, I'm gonna end this live stream. Actually, no, I'm not gonna end this live stream just yet. Just give me a moment here, because I almost forgot something. So we've got that one window that's still open. That was the original registry entry. I totally forgot about that. So I'm back at, there's a couple of messages since I've been gone, so I'm way down here. So there's a few other messages that have happened since. So this was 3 hours ago, 5 hours ago, so like I said, it's about a 5 hour run. So 3:25, actually that, how about that? That worked out to be the 5 hours, so 5 hours right on. Finished arriving, and they basically, as an admin, you don't have to put so much information, especially if you know the yards, but it's always good to just document what you're doing. So finished arriving, UP Edison at track 1, UP Bakersfield, power to the shop, and shut down. So that's all you do with that. And on this side here, you go to edit response, work, you can go to complete. If it doesn't really matter what you put so much on this side, because what you're dealing with is the time. So for here, you're changing that to 5 hours and submitting that. What that does is that will go into the registry so that we can keep track of how much time. And then from there, what happens is an admin will go in and they will take a look at this part here and basically get rid of it. At 1200 Monday cycle. So 1200 Monday cycles, just to basically say, I use the days of the week now because we're going into a Monday. I suppose I could put it in here. Current cycle time is 3:55 a.m. So this is where the yardmaster will update instructions, etc., etc. So that's the basic schedule. So we're coming along closely to get into that SJVR slot. So if I don't do it tonight, I'm going to have to get into the whole tagging and documentation about what that is all about again. So I'll probably do a live stream. If I don't do it tonight, I'll do it tomorrow. If not, I'll do it both. Who knows? But we'll see how things go from there. But again, yeah, like, subscribe, do whatever. If you don't like it, thumbs down. I don't care. Don't matter to me. So appreciate you watching, and we'll see you again real soon.